about Dr. Leroy. He is the co-founder and medical director of Eternus Medical Center, Hyderabad. He has accredited over 10 research papers published in index journals. He is also a participant in the capacity of an investigator in various clinical trials, including stem cell therapy, fresh cell therapy, and platelet-rich plasma. He is also credited with many inventions, passion in alternative medicine, and practices integrative medicine. He is also a speaker in American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine seminars in Bangkok, Thailand, since September 2012. So over to Dr. Leroy.
Yeah, thank you, Bindu. Thank you, Dr. Shri Kumar, and thank every one of you. So we'll talk about my topic was given my food plate. So, every time I choose the same topic because there are so many recipes, and so much of food, and it never gets over because even after this, we'll be going out and eating some food. So now we had a very, eye-opening thing by Sir about, the medical profession and the legal things. So it all depends upon how you look at things. Now, all of you, I want you to close one eye, one eye, close one eye and look at me. Okay, all of you, close one eye and look at me. So you see a picture. Now, you close the other eye and open the first eye. Yeah, so the picture changes, right? So this is a different picture from two eyes. So that's called perspective. So this eye sees something, this eye sees something. So now every time I tell you, you need to change your perspective of looking at things. So today we're changing the perspective. We are looking at food and we're going to talk about mushrooms. Okay, so every time I tell you to change your perspective, I want you to just get up from your chair a little bit and just, sit on a different position. Yeah, correct. That's the right way. So you can just change your perspective, sit straight first. Okay, perfect. Okay. So mushroom can come under something called fungi. Now I have more than 50, 60 slides. We're not going to go through all the slides because in 20 minutes it's not possible, but you can share the presentation. So these fungi grow everywhere around us. In our fridge also they grow. You see sometimes things get spoiled in your fridge, that's fungi. You see your leather shoes at home, you get some mold on it, it's nothing but fungi. And these fungi have actually changed the way you look at medicine. You don't believe me. Today when I talk about mushrooms, people say, oh, I want some magic mushrooms. I will talk about that also. So this guy, Alexander Fleming, he used penicillin, and penicillin, came into his window and started growing on his plate. And that's how you found the first antibiotic. And at that time, antibiotic was the latest in medicine. And there were seminars on how you can use antibiotics. And today, it's exactly the opposite. There are seminars that you say antibiotics are bad. Please don't use antibiotics. Now, so penicillin is a very good antibiotic. It even grows on fruit and food in your home. Now, I don't mean that you start eating all the moldy fruit in your house. Now, why does this? See, every time, now a fungus is not either a plant or an animal, but it has biochemistry of both inside. If you know, plants have basically carbohydrate metabolism. So when plants look at, when you eat plants, they say, oh, you're eating too much carbs. When you eat meat, oh, you're eating too much of protein. Now, fungus is something in between. So these are different types of funguses, and these are different types of antibiotics that are produced. I love this. All of you will love it if you know what it is. This is nothing but the fungus from where you make LSD. Have you heard of LSD? You can change your perspective a bit. Just get up and sit and change your perspective, because I want you to look at it from the perspective of LSD. Yeah, so ergot is a fungus that grows on wheat. And this has psychotropic activity. You know this one? This is from where we get cyclosporin. All of us use cyclosporin. I mean, I don't use it. So, I mean, the other guys who practice a lot of rheumatology and all that, kidney transplant, they use a lot of cyclosporin. From where does it come? Everything comes from nature. Aspergillosis. Black fungus. You've heard of black fungus? COVID, black fungus. We had black fungus long time ago. COVID did not create black fungus. As long as your immunity goes down, your black fungus goes up. Now, there is a, have you heard of fermented rice in Japan? Or sake, the drink sake, that's prepared from this same black fungus. So you spoil the rice out, this aspergillosis grows on it, and you distill it, and that gets very good sake. And it decreases your risk of heart. Oriental cuisines have this, you know, it tastes very, very good. And, you know, it's good for cancer. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Everyone talks about eliminating this fungus, right? Now, when you have this in your body, you have all problems, like vaginal thrush, you have, you know, in the HIV patients, we see it in the gut and all that. But, you know, this causes a lot of asthma. And even the cure, even the medicine for asthma comes from this. This is the principle of homeopathy. Like cures like. So what can cause can cure. So nothing is bad. That's why I say, don't say anything is bad. Steroids. Are steroids bad? No, it again comes from aspergillosis. Cordyceps. Now, this is a very rare fungus, and people are talking about this a lot because this is a mushroom that grows on the dead worms. It's called Kida Jadi. It grows in the Himalayas. It grows in South America. And this actual mushroom is banned, you know. You can't take it from the wild. It's under Wildlife Protection Act. Secondly, there are two types of species. You have Cordyceps militaris, which grows in the lab and which produce cordycepin. This cordycepin has been used by China, and they have won Olympic records. And so cordyceps is now banned. You can't use cordyceps in sports. But fortunately or unfortunately, people make cordyceps tea, and if you have it, you feel good. Now, why do you feel good? Because every fungus or every mushroom has, you know, a soup of amino acids. Where do mushrooms grow? They grow on something that you throw out. That's why yesterday somebody says, don't waste trash. Trash is good. So this, you know, converts all the decaying matter into good stuff. Because once you break down stuff, what can you get? You get the building blocks. And what are the most important building blocks for us? Is carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So carbohydrates you get from your grains, fats you get from your oil, amino acids or protein you get from your mushroom you can get recycled protein from meat also. Chaga mushroom. This is used in a lot of oriental teas, and they promote it in cholesterol, and, you know, it starts to bring down cholesterol and all that. Turkey tail. Before entering your property, you have a bracket fungus or a turkey tail growing outside. While going home, please go and have a look at it. Of course, the one which is growing outside is poisonous, so don't eat it. Otherwise, then you'll come to me and say, and then I have to go to doctor, and he will defend me in the court, saying that it's only a lecture. Okay, so now there are so many types of mushrooms. Shiitake mushrooms is one of the most famous everyone talks about, and how to prepare. Since I don't have much time, I'm rushing through each mushroom. You know, how to prepare it. And all these things you need to prepare in your food. Please don't go and take extracts and have extracts. Oh, I'm buying this extract for $100. I'm buying this extract for $200. Buy the mushroom and eat it in your food, or grow it in your home and eat it in your food. You don't need a big house to grow mushrooms. You just need a small box. And you get the bags ready. You just need a moisture. Things grow. Things love to grow. People make things complicated. And the worst fellows to make things complicated are the doctors because they have half knowledge. That also. If they get half knowledge, they should be beaten. So these nutritional effects, now I want you to change your perspective again of sitting on the chair. So you look at it from a different angle. So now when you look at mushrooms, you look at it as a nutrition source for you. And see, if you don't like the taste of how it is made, don't eat it. Because food should look good, smell good, taste good, and also be healthy. If it doesn't have these four things, it's not good for you. It's not food. I don't like to eat hospital food or sick food for the rest of my life. Till the last day of my life, you should eat tasty food. So these are some of the popular of varieties of edible mushrooms. Now talking about, I want to touch on this, psychoactive mushrooms. That's what they called magic mushrooms. Now this is 100% illegal, okay? You can't prescribe magic mushrooms to your patient and say, I'm giving some medicine. It's 100% illegal, it's 100% against the law. But accidentally you can have it. Not knowing. So, just don't show the recording in the court. So, these magic mushrooms contain something called psilocybin. Now, this psilocybin is a psychoactive substance. One dose is enough to change the way you think. The most easiest way of taking it is ingestion. Now, you can also get poisoning from these mushrooms. Beware. So, the species that produces there are many species that produce psilocybin. So, one of the most important species of psilocybin are agaricus species. The beautiful mushroom which you see red with those dots, that's a very good agaricus species of mushroom. Now, agaricus, there's another subspecies called Agaricus muscaris. That is they use it in medicine, but it is also psychoactive. If you see, there is another species for people who have neurological problems. It's called lion's mane. See, the beauty of this, of botany or anything in science is that, scientists are all mad guys, They see things in nature and they try to emulate that and use names for that. So if you have, a person who has some nerve issues, whether the nerve is cut or the nerve is damaged, you choose a plant that looks like nerve. Or you choose a mushroom that looks like nerve. So the mushroom which looks like nerve is called lion's mane mushroom. So it grows down. You can make a soup. You can make food out of it. You can, sprinkle parts of it. And you can have it. And of course, if you can't get all these things, the last thing to do is have an extract of that. But I tell you, if a person is sick, I would say people fall sick because they want to fall sick. Okay, nobody falls sick because it's their bad karma or something. I don't know. If a person wants to get well, he'll get well. People remain sick because they want to fall sick. And sickness is something that humans can't live alone. So when a person feels lonely, that is the first place where he falls sick because he wants attention from others. So people remain sick also to get attention from others. But anyway, that's a different topic. So a lot of people can talk about that, how, the sickness. That's why sickness is about a community health care. If you don't have a good community health care, people will fall sick. And we are learning from these stupid Americans how to sue doctors. Totally useless fellows. Of course, there are some things good also what they do. Now, role of fungi in medicine. So you see there are a lot of substances that these fungus produce or these mushrooms produce. Now, everyone knows something called beta-glycan produced from Ganoderma lucidium. I'll tell you, beta-glycan is a group of chemicals. Now, many mushrooms also produce beta-glycan. Even your button mushrooms, the ones you get in your supermarkets, they also do have beta-glycan. The problem is, when you heat the beta-glycan, it dies. It degrades. So what is the most simplest way of eating mushrooms people like? Stir frying. Now, stir frying is one of the worst ways of cooking mushrooms. They taste good, but all the beta glycan is dead. So you either eat it raw, or you make a soup of it, or you use it as a garnish. You'll get your beta glycan. Yeah, but you put much more of mushrooms when you make soup. So the quantity also is there. And at the end of the day, making medicine is nothing but cooking. You put some things in a pot and you heat it. And okay, then some guy said, everyone's making medicine, so let's make some more money. So what we did is that we put some special stainless steel, which, called some 316 or 316L, which other people don't understand. And you make the same pot and you give it. But the way you cook is the best medicine that you can give to your people or to your patients. You always teach people how to cook food. People forgot. You cook food in 10 minutes. What food can you cook in 10 minutes? What reactions can happen in 10 minutes? You have ready in the flight, they were serving they took out one bottle, they put hot water in that, and they gave you noodles in some plastic thing. I mean, what is that? I don't know. That's going to kill you. Food should cook. It should take time. There are no aromas in food. So you add aromas from top because aromas are not there. So as technology goes ahead, things will come in, but we need to live the way we can. So these are just going again, passing through that. It fast about some mushrooms. I don't want to go through every thing. Okay, mushroom and vitamin D. So since this is a very good conference, everyone talks about vitamin D and the deficiency of vitamin D and sunlight. So now mushrooms have been known to accumulate vitamin D on their skin. Now whatever you eat is the fruiting body of the mushroom. It's not the entire mushroom. The entire mushroom is the mycelium which you can't see that grows inside the wood or inside the substrate, as you call it. Whatever we eat is the fruiting body. And this fruiting bodies come out. And below these fruiting bodies, there is something called spores, which is the reproductive organ of the mushroom. And that spreads, and that's how you get more mushrooms. So you get spores, not mushroom seeds. For God heaven's sake, someone asked me, give me mushroom seed. I'm like, is mushroom a plant? I said, I don't know. It's not a plant. It doesn't have chlorophyll. No mushroom has chlorophyll. So mushroom is not a plant. So umami mushrooms, there are like millions and different types of mushrooms that you have. Okay, so I'm just going through all this. You can have this presentation that teaches you how the best ways of cooking with mushrooms. I don't want to go through it because how many minutes are there? 3 minutes. Okay. So perfect. So you can copy this. Yeah, presentation on how to cook. I mean, there are so many recipes and so many nice things. So I'll just go through this also. Halogenic mushrooms. Now, hallucinations, people do certain ceremonies with mushrooms, and God knows what, they see God also with mushrooms. So one man told me, I took mushrooms and Shiva came to me. I was like, wow, Shiva came to you. You should have caught him and brought him for me. We would have chai with him. Sorry, I'm not against any religion or anything. I mean, I really don't know. It causes hallucinations as per medical science. So, now these hallucinating mushrooms usually grow on grass. They also grow next to cow dung. You're not supposed to eat them. That's why people always told you from time to time they are poisonous. But if you don't know, you can eat. And say, I don't know. I did not know. Then, this produces a compound called psilocybin. Now, psilocybin in the body blocks your frontal cortex. So when your frontal cortex is blocked, your subconscious memories come out. Or your subconscious mind starts to think. And that's how people have these so-called religious experiences, or this experience or that experience. Because of the overriding of the frontal cortex by the subconscious mind. The second thing that gets activated with psilocybin is the amygdala. So amygdala stores a lot of emotions. Amygdala stores a lot of, deep thoughts and all that. That's why people have this, and then they have some experiences like out-of-body experience. They may have some, you know, um, transcendental experiences where they transcend the body and all that with the help of psilocybin. So it's basically your brain playing tricks on yourself, okay? And of course, there are things that people do with it which I can't talk on the stage. Now, there are many laws that, have these mushrooms. In India, mushrooms is 100% banned. Mushrooms containing psilocybin falls under narcotics. You can't take mushroom that contains psilocybin. It attracts a penalty, including jail time, because it is 100% narcotic. But of course, there are some states in USA, like Washington and all, where mushrooms can be used, mushrooms can be sold. So those in America will know about where you can get mushrooms legally, consume mushrooms legally. When I'm talking about mushroom now, I'm talking about hallucinating mushroom, legally. But in India and in many of the other states, in the United States of America, mushroom is still illegal, banned, substance A, narcotic, or they have a different classification over there in their pharmacopoeia as substance A. Okay, so if you see, this is a scan of a functional scan of the brain where you see before and after of, yeah, oh, wow. So you see before, this is like mushroom only. Before and after. So you see after taking 1 or 2 doses of psilocybin, you see the activity in the brain. The activity in the brain has formed. There are many new synapses formed. Now, since this is only a mixture of all amino acids, I think it should be safe. I don't think it should be banned because you eat amino acids every day. Amino acids are there in your eggs, amino acids are there everywhere. And after eating this stuff, if your brain can function like this, I mean, why not? But unfortunately, you live in a country that's, taken by peoples. Now, these are certain references. You can take this presentation and go through it because they're saying my time is up, so I can't talk more about it, and how it affects the brain, how the synapses form, and how those synapses break. And when those synapses form, yesterday you've seen the theory of memory, how those synapses can come into your subconscious mind. Now, I would tell you that this is all normal stuff. I'm not going to go through all this. Now, if you see how dangerous is mushroom, hallucinogenic mushroom, it's less dangerous than alcohol. Alcohol causes more deaths than mushroom poisoning. Even cocaine today is much more legal than mushrooms in the United States of America. The laws against cocaine are much legal, are much more about that. So I think, if it's okay about this today, and I thank you very much, and I think my time is up. I can go on talking, but you guys will kick me out. So I'll just store it. And this is my QR code. If you want to get some information, you can scan the QR code and you can, enroll yourself for my mailing list. And I'll send you like all wacko stuff that we do in Hyderabad. And you're most welcome to visit us. See, I don't make any medicines from mushrooms anymore. Yeah, I mean, we always did stuff, but today we're not making anything because, again, there are certain things like Ganoderma and all, you can do that. But if you ask me, psilocybin, absolutely no. Psilocybin is against the law. Psilocybin is narcotic. You cannot make psilocybin. You'll 100% land in jail. Ha, Kida Jadi is also not allowed. Kida Jadi is against the law because Kida Jadi falls under the Wildlife Protection Act of India. You are found with one Kida Jadi, it's as good as killing up a deer. The same punishment. Actually, sir can tell you the Wildlife Protection Act, what is the punishment. I don't know because I don't know all these things about law and all these things. So better not to touch what you don't know. If you don't know to swim, don't go and jump in the sea. That's it. But you can get cordycepin. Dr. Millie, you can get cordycepin. Cordycepin comes from Cordyceps militaris, which is 100% legal and can be grown. So if you get Cordyceps militaris, it is 100% legal. That is not Kida Jadi. That's the other Cordyceps. I'm talking about the militaris. It's quite good. So you can use it for sport. But for Olympics, it's banned. Any kind of Cordyceps is banned. But for a normal guy, you can use it for heart conditions. You can use it for arrhythmias. Cordyceps works well. Cordyceps tea. I beg your pardon? See, have a mix because every amino acid is produced differently in different. What is mushroom if you see? Mushroom is just a cell. The beta-glycan is a glycogen, a glycated protein around it. And you have different amino acids. It's a mix of amino acids. So having different types of mixed amino acids is good. And where do these amino acids come from? They're recycled from the decaying soil, from the decaying trees. That's why most of these mushrooms go on logs that are decaying. They grow over there and they take off. And I also want to make something clear. Who says that plants don't have protein? Plants have all the amino acids. It's just the ratio that is out. You can get every amino acid from plants. You don't need to eat meat, but if you wish, you can eat. Now, just 1 minute more. Because if you see how many essential and non-essential amino acids are there in the body. Our body produces some amino acids, and those are called non-essential. The ones that we don't produce are 7, and those are called essential. Why are they called essential? Can you know why? Plants produce all. Mushrooms produce all, but why humans produce less, those 7? You think if they can produce so many, they can't produce 7? No, that's divine intervention, because God wants you to enjoy good food. So mixing of these amino acids causes taste, so you can enjoy good food. So that's why you need to also, be grateful, be, righteousness in the food you eat. And you eat too much of those amino acids, essential amino acids, you get diabetes, you get cardiac problem, this problem, that problem, all these things. So you should know how much to eat. That's where the wisdom comes into play. That's why they say, science is, medicine practices with the wisdom, or a science and an art. That's where the art of culinary science comes into play. Or that's where the wisdom comes into play of what not to eat, how much to eat, and what to eat. So thank you so much.